120 million cubic meters of sand, 7 billion tons of stone, and $5 billion were all poured into the sea just to buy one promise: absolute safety for the ultra-rich on the ultra-luxurious Palm Jumeirah Island. But on the 28th of February 2026, the thick black smoke rising from the fire at Fairmont the Palm after a missile strike completely shattered that illusion. Beneath the golden veneer of Palm Island lies a harsh reality hidden for 2 decades. The foundation is sinking 5 millimeters each year. The million-dollar beach reeks of sewage in the summer. And 25% of the villas are essentially ghost streets with no inhabitants. What happens when a defiant, simple, challenging nature is attacked from the outside and hollowed out from within? Prepare yourself, because this is a completely different Dubai where insatiable greed begins to bear fruit with cracks. Have you ever wondered what will happen when a $5 billion paradise built on the promise of absolute safety suddenly confronts the harsh reality of war? On the afternoon of the 28th of February 2026, a thick column of black smoke billowed up from the 5-star Fairmont the Palm Resort complex. The incident did not start from an electrical short circuit or a gas leak, but from the debris of a ballistic missile intercepted over the sky of Palm Jumeirah Island. A wave of attacks targeting military bases turned Dubai's once peaceful sky into a fiery battlefield. A blazing fragment pierced a luxurious reception hall, turning the million-dollar architectural marvel into a sea of flames and injuring at least 4 people. At the same time, metal debris fell in the Burj Al Arab area while a drone struck a fuel tank at Dubai International Airport, forcing all air traffic operations to be suspended for several hours. Dubai has spent billions of dollars selling the global ultra-wealthy a superior promise: a luxurious paradise, zero taxes, and complete immunity from regional instability. But the column of black smoke on the 28th of February 2026 tore apart that carefully crafted illusion. The shockwaves shook the golden glass walls of the 10 million villas, causing the elite to panic and flee. For the first time, billionaires realized that their expensive paradise was completely fragile in the face of harsh geopolitical realities. The fire that engulfed the luxury resort was not just a media disaster. It was a direct blow to global financial confidence. When the legend of an immunity island collapses, the hidden cracks concealed for 20 years begin to surface. If neither money nor the world's most expensive air defense can buy true safety, then where does the real value of these million-dollar islands lie? Have we been too naive to believe that a city can stand outside the conflicts of human history simply by covering itself in luxury? But the fire from the sky in 2026 was only the spark that ignited a ticking time bomb, waiting to explode since the very first grain of sand was poured into the ocean. Do you know what a -1-year-old child's sandcastle and the $5 billion Palm Jumeirah project have in common? Both were built on the belief that the ocean would smile forever and never reclaim the land. In June 2001, when Dubai's oil reserves were nearing depletion, a bold plan emerged: transform sea sand into diamonds by creating an artificial island that would attract global wealth. Initially, engineers proposed a simple sun-shaped design with 7 kilometers of beachfront, but greed demanded more. Instead of 7 kilometers, the authorities wanted 70 kilometers of coastline, 10 times more than the original plan. So, the laws of physics were pushed aside to create a giant palm tree with 17 branches stretching into the sea. They mobilized an entire fleet of dredging ships, extracting 120 million cubic meters of sand from the Persian Gulf and tearing apart the higher mountains to obtain 7 billion tons of rock. Using satellite positioning technology, every grain of sand was placed with millimeter precision. The surface looked like an engineering miracle, but beneath that glamorous appearance was a reality the advertising brochures never mentioned. The entire island has no deep concrete pillars or steel foundations supporting it. Instead, the luxurious villas stand on layers of compacted sand and rock held together through vibration technology. Every angle of the island was optimized to look perfect in satellite and drone photographs. They sold the world a dream from the sky while hiding the harsh reality on the ground. In 2008, the grand opening celebration of Atlantis was so extravagant that fireworks lit up the entire Gulf. Celebrities like David Beckham, Michael Schumacher, and countless wealthy investors gathered as luxury villas changed hands within hours. People bought and sold property contracts, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single afternoon. One penthouse reached an astonishing price of 300 million AED. The world celebrated Palm Jumeirah as the eighth wonder of the world. But nature has its own rules. Sand never stops moving. And the ocean has never learned how to negotiate with financial reports. When billions of dollars are spent creating a structure designed mainly to impress aerial photographs, are we challenging the fundamental laws of nature? Is an architectural masterpiece built on arrogance truly a wonder of the world, or simply an expensive structure waiting to decay? As soon as the lights of the 2008 celebration faded, the compacted sand beneath the island's 120 million cubic meters of foundation quietly began moving in one direction, downward. People often say money can buy almost anything, but it cannot buy the patience of the ocean. That is the painful lesson Palm Jumeirah continues to learn. Look at the numbers that many people tried to ignore. In 2009, a radar satellite survey conducted by the European geological company Fugro and PA revealed alarming findings. According to the report, the $5 billion United States dollars artificial island was sinking at an average rate of 5 millimeters per year. The developer immediately rejected the findings, claiming they were caused by satellite measurement errors. However, independent scientific studies painted a different picture. On the outer Palm fronts, where the most expensive waterfront villas are located, the land had already sunk by more than 30 centimeters within just a decade. The greatest danger is not that the entire island sinks evenly. The real danger is uneven settlement. Imagine owning a luxury villa worth 10 million United States dollars, only to watch one side of the building slowly sink lower than the other. Drainage systems begin to fail, load-bearing walls develop cracks, road surfaces become uneven and distorted. Nature wasn't finished yet. Climate change has caused global sea levels to rise by approximately 3.2 millimeters each year. Combine that with the island's annual sinking rate, and the total environmental degradation reaches approximately 8.2 millimeters every year. Slowly but relentlessly, the sea inches closer toward the homes of the super-rich. The ocean is quietly reclaiming what was once taken from it along the shoreline. Natural coastal currents have already eroded 5 to 10 meters of private beaches every year. Even Dubai's mainland coastline loses approximately 10,000 to 15,000 cubic meters of sand annually because of changes in water movement caused by Palm Jumeirah. To slow the erosion, authorities quietly hired giant dredging vessels from the Netherlands. By the end of 2023, they had pumped approximately 1.8 million cubic meters of new sand onto the beaches. It became an endless cycle of spending enormous amounts of money simply to buy a little more time. This raises an uncomfortable question. Is there any amount of money capable of correcting the arrogance of trying to control the ocean with artificial sand? When the very ground beneath your feet slowly disappears every year, does the golden key to a luxury villa still represent prosperity? Or is it merely a first-class ticket aboard a slowly sinking ship? Because sinking foundations are not the island's only hidden problem. The very design that made Palm Jumeirah famous has quietly transformed the surrounding sea into an environmental trap. If you think the sinking island is a tragedy, then look at what is happening on the water's surface. The 11.5-kilometer crescent-shaped breakwater, celebrated as a powerful shield protecting Palm Jumeirah from large waves, has become an environmental trap. Instead of allowing natural water circulation, it blocks tidal movement and turns the waters between the 17 palm fronts into a giant stagnant lagoon. Studies of water flow have shown that in some of the deepest corners of the island, water can take up to 20 days to fully circulate. under the intense Gulf sun. Water temperatures rise significantly. The combination of warm, stagnant water and household waste creates the perfect conditions for massive algae blooms. When those algae die, they sink to the bottom where oxygen levels are extremely low. There, they decompose into thick layers of black sludge. Instead of a fresh ocean breeze, the area can release unpleasant gases such as hydrogen sulfide and ammonia, creating strong odors. Residents living in luxury waterfront villas worth between $3 million and $12 million USD have experienced a reality very different from the dream they purchased. Rather than enjoying a pristine seaside environment, some report unpleasant smells drifting directly into their homes. It is an ironic situation. People spend millions of dollars for oceanfront living, yet some beaches and waterfront areas become difficult to enjoy. Property owners have reportedly hired divers to remove large quantities of algae every day. But the problem continues to return. The environmental impact extends beyond unpleasant odors. The construction of Palm Jumeirah significantly altered the natural marine ecosystem of the Persian Gulf. Coral reefs were damaged, natural oyster habitats disappeared, and many marine species lost their original environments. This raises an important question. Do humans have the right to reshape and damage long-established ecosystems in the pursuit of luxury development? And if the result is an artificial environment requiring constant maintenance, was the sacrifice worthwhile? While residents struggle with environmental challenges above the water, another problem is developing beneath the surface. A silent chemical process is gradually attacking the island's infrastructure. In 2025, photographs reportedly circulated on Dubai real estate forums showing sections of villa foundations where concrete had deteriorated, exposing rusted steel reinforcement bars underneath. The Persian Gulf is one of the harshest environments for reinforced concrete structures. High salinity, extreme temperatures, and aggressive chemical conditions accelerate corrosion. Engineering studies have warned that concrete structures in such environments can experience severe deterioration after only 10 to 15 years if construction quality and protection systems are inadequate, where protective concrete layers are too thin. Salt-containing chloride ions can penetrate the structure. Once they reach the steel reinforcement, corrosion begins. As rust forms, the steel expands. That expansion creates internal pressure which cracks the surrounding concrete from within. The damage often remains hidden until visible cracks begin appearing on the surface. Repairing underwater structures is dramatically more expensive than performing similar work on land. Maintenance costs can be several times higher. As infrastructure ages, those costs continue to rise. According to the transcript, many residents became frustrated with increasing maintenance charges associated with preserving the island's infrastructure. Disputes over service fees and management costs eventually led to legal conflicts between property owners and management authorities. Residents complained about rising expenses while developers argued that extensive maintenance was necessary to preserve the island. The conflict revealed another uncomfortable reality. Luxury living does not eliminate maintenance costs. In many cases, it multiplies them. What appears from the outside to be a perfect paradise may require enormous spending simply to prevent deterioration. And as financial pressures continue to increase, many residents begin asking themselves whether they truly own a luxury asset or whether they have purchased an expensive responsibility that never stops demanding more money. Financial conflicts placed increasing pressure on homeowners. But if you step outside those luxury buildings at night, you discover an even more disturbing reality. Walk along the palm fronds of Palm Jumeirah at around 10 p.m. and you'll see long winding roads covered in silence. Many streets are dark. Very few lights shine from the villa windows. According to the source, market reports indicated that 22% to 25% of the villas were completely unoccupied, creating what real estate professionals describe as ghost streets. Hundreds of luxury villas worth millions of dollars have reportedly remained empty for years. These properties were never intended to become family homes. Instead, many serve as investment assets, wealth storage, tax planning tools, or financial holdings for international investors. Although real estate transactions reached 18.4 billion AD in 2024, the island lacks the atmosphere of a true residential community. From the outside, Palm Jumeirah appears to be a thriving paradise. Behind the luxury image, however, many neighborhoods remain unusually quiet. The island also faces an important infrastructure challenge, according to the transcript. Palm Jumeirah is connected to the mainland primarily through a single major road and the monorail. Residents have long complained about heavy traffic congestion, particularly around the Palm West Beach interchange. Even a minor traffic accident can create major delays because there are limited alternative routes. The source argues that this creates a critical weakness for such a large residential development. Beyond the infrastructure, another issue often receives far less attention. The luxury enjoyed by wealthy residents depends heavily on the labor of thousands of migrant workers from countries including India, Pakistan, and the Philippines. According to the transcript, transportation costs have increased significantly, while housing rents have also risen. Many workers reportedly earn only a few thousand AD each month. Fuel costs and road tolls can consume a large portion of their income. As a result, many spend long hours commuting from shared accommodations in older parts of Dubai to Palm Jumeirah each day. Some workers travel more than 45 minutes each way simply to provide services for homes whose owners may rarely visit. The transcript argues that these workers contribute greatly to maintaining the island while receiving relatively limited long-term benefits. This raises difficult social questions. Can a city truly be called successful if much of its prosperity depends on people who struggle to afford the cost of living? Can luxury remain sustainable when the people supporting it face increasing financial pressure? According to the source, both social and infrastructure challenges have gradually contributed to a changing real estate market. Data covering the 2025 to 2026 period suggested that Palm Jumeirah had reached a level of market saturation. Land prices reportedly stabilized around 4,988 AD per square foot, while wealthy investors increasingly turned their attention toward newer luxury developments. One example mentioned in the transcript is Jumeirah Bay Island, with its lower density design, luxury Bulgari resort, and separate bridge access. The island became increasingly attractive to high-end buyers. The transcript suggests that many elite investors began viewing Palm Jumeirah as an older project carrying greater infrastructure risks. According to the source, the missile-related incident of the 28th of February 2026 became the final event that further weakened confidence in Palm Jumeirah's image of absolute security. The greatest challenge facing the island is not simply whether it will physically sink. The larger issue, according to the transcript, is the gradual collapse of the luxury image that helped make Palm Jumeirah famous around the world. Dubai may continue building even larger and more ambitious mega projects, but according to the transcript, no amount of money can change the laws of gravity, geology, or the corrosive effects of seawater. The message is not presented as satisfaction over human suffering. Instead, it is portrayed as a reminder that even immense wealth cannot overcome the fundamental forces of nature. The transcript expresses regret for the destruction of a once pristine marine ecosystem that was transformed to create an artificial luxury destination. It also reflects on the thousands of migrant workers whose labor, sweat, and sacrifice helped build the island. Many of the luxurious villas they constructed remain empty, serving as financial assets rather than family homes. According to the source, Palm Jumeirah now stands as a proud but deeply cracked monument. It symbolizes the gap between a perfect computer-generated design and the harsh realities hidden beneath the ocean's surface. The transcript presents this as a warning for Humanity, any civilization built upon limitless greed and disregard for nature will eventually develop cracks from within. The greatest danger is not always visible at first. Sometimes the collapse begins silently. Beneath the surface, the narrator asks viewers an important question. When you watch the next glamorous advertisements promoting Dubai, will you see a true wonder of the modern world? Or will you see a beautifully designed image hiding difficult realities underneath? The transcript argues that the greatest legacy humanity can leave future generations is not monumental construction. Instead, it is the lesson of humility before nature. Palm Jumeirah remains standing in the Persian Gulf like a magnificent yet damaged monument. It reflects the contrast between perfect architectural renderings and the reality of aging concrete and rusting steel beneath the sea. According to the transcript, the events of 2026 were not simply a fire or an infrastructure problem. They represented a warning about the consequences of attempting to conquer nature at any cost. The narrator again asks viewers to reconsider how they view luxury developments. When watching future promotional videos about Dubai, will you admire an architectural masterpiece? Or will you recognize the hidden environmental, engineering, and social challenges that exist behind the polished image? The transcript concludes that humanity's greatest achievement should not be measured by structures that dominate nature. Instead, true progress comes from respecting the natural world and understanding its limits. If this video has given you a completely new perspective beyond the glamorous advertising images and helped you better understand the realities behind these luxury symbols, please like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and leave a comment below. What do you think about the future of Palm Jumeirah? Will continued investment and financial resources preserve the island? Or will nature eventually reclaim what was built upon the sea? Let's discuss in the comments. Disclaimer: content in this video is compiled and analyzed based on geological reports, market research data, publicly available media materials, and hypothetical scenarios concerning infrastructure and geopolitical risks. This content is intended for educational and analytical purposes only. It should not be considered investment, financing,